is Monday, April 16th, 7 p.m., and you're listening to Cannabis Radio, so that must mean you're listening to The Cure with Amy and Georgia, with our producer tonight, Chris Custer, the latest cannabis news from around the globe in the Mile High City. Tonight's guest will have Levi from Noto Urban Garden Supply answering your questions. We'll touch base with Ann Davis, Esquire, from New Jersey, who's one of the attorneys suing the state to put that medical marijuana program in place. And finally, we'll hear from High Times Senior Cultivation Editor and author of the official High Times Field Guide to Marijuana Strains, Danny Danko.
Danny Danko.
Yep.
Do you know what else today is?
Patriots Day.
You know what that means?
No.
Kids in Massachusetts get the day off from school.
Because they're all running the Boston Marathon because they've all qualified. Today was...
That'd be
They
great.
drive to Canada, buy cheap beer, and then bring it back.
Today was record heat in New England, and because of that, for the first time ever, the Boston Marathon organizers were offering refunds so that people day of could decide to drop out if they wanted to, because it was going to be 90 degrees, and they were so worried about people having heat stroke. It's hard enough to run 26.2 miles.
Has that ever happened before?
Never.
No. No,
First of all, it's never been 90 degrees in
yeah, I spent
April.
the first 18 years of my life in New Hampshire, Vermont, and yeah, I can't remember it ever being 90 degrees in April, ever, not like once.
Part of the reason why they start the Boston Marathon later in the morning, the first wave of runners, which is the women runners, which is fantastic because it means the women finish first. Part of the reason why they start later is because the weather is typically so crappy.
That's right. It's usually like really rainy.
Yeah.
And
Freezing rain.
ugh,
Yeah.
I do not like to run in that.
I prefer that to 90. I can't run in the heat. But anyway.
Yeah, when did this come to running grass?
Because because to me everything's about running on grass.
Yeah. Well, let me do news.
That sounds
so then
great.
We can actually have real guests in. We got three main things we're going to go through tonight, and the first is we got pretty rapid new update from from CDPHE, our Department of Health, and new patient numbers as of February 29th, 2012. And I would have liked to have seen it go up a little more than it did, but it did continue to rise for the third month in a row. And Colorado's looking at now 89,646 registered patients in the state, and that's through, again, CDPHE, the Department of Health. The rest of the numbers kind of stayed the same. We still have 900 different physicians signing for patients in Colorado.
That's fantastic.
Which is, again, a good number because there's, the myth of it being 2 or 3 doctors.
Right.
And then we've seen the Department of Health attack some of those 2 or 3 doctors. And we're still looking at that. Interestingly, we saw the female age rise. It went up 1 year. So the now average age for females is 44, with the average age for males being 41. Females at 32% of the registry and males at 68% of the registry. Somehow, even with that change, the average age remains 42, but I think that's because they don't do 0.5s or anything. And Denver still remains our our city in Colorado with the most medical marijuana patients. However, Jeffco's a close second, so my guess percentage-wise, Jeffco might be higher.
It said on the percentage, didn't it, that something like 16% is from Denver and then 15% is from Jefferson County? Is that right?
It does, but that's the percentage of the patients statewide. So overall, Denver has the highest percentage.
Gotcha.
I didn't have a chance today to break it down to like per city.
Do you have your calculator?
No, Greg took it back.
Your abacus?
Yeah. No, it's
a big calculator. Well, Can we go back just a second? One of the things that I like about having those numbers is, a whole bunch of things, but I love the average age because everyone has the misperception, again, that the only people who are getting their medical marijuana registry card are 23-year-old boys.
Mm-hmm. Again, that and the number of doctors who sign this. People think 5 or 6 doctors sign it and everybody's a skateboard kid. Clearly that's not the case. But let me hit it up one more time here. No. We now, though, have 43 minors.
Really?
Yeah. 43 under the age of 18.
So how are they actually getting their cards? Are they going through a secondary or tertiary process to get their cards?
They have different requirements actually under Amendment 20, so don't go blaming politicians in the state in 1284, any of that crap. This is original Amendment 20 stuff. They have to get 2 doctors' signatures, and there's a bit of a mess depending on parents who have custody and yada yada, how many of them have to sign. But at least one parent has to sign.
And then the parents are able to go and make those purchases at medical marijuana centers for their kid.
Yes, sometimes. Well, that's up to the center on whether or not they do that as a business practice, because some centers feel uncomfortable doing that. But yes. Now, next item, and this is kind of cool, and it got lost in the news last week. But right here from the Coloradoan, we got.
I think it's pronounced like that. I'm quite certain.
Well, we're too busy people
Maybe
fighting
if you're
with
from
me
Kentucky.
over Bangor, Maine, and everybody. Anyway.
Bangor where?
So, Maine, with an E. But so there's last week. Okay. Anyway, this is not tomorrow night's show. So a group seeking to overturn the law, the anti-medical marijuana center law in Fort Collins, filed a petition notice last week with the city clerk's office. Okay, and basically they now must collect at least 4,214 valid signatures from city voters in order to place the question before the public on November 6th. And we know from previous experiences that 4,214 valid signatures is probably closer to 9,000 signatures when we weigh in the number that turn out to be bad. So that is what's up, and they're keeping their fingers crossed that with this year being a general election and a presidential election, instead of the mail-in election they had last year, that there'll be a higher voter turnout and it'll more properly represent what we think is the will of the Fort Collins voters, and that is to allow medical marijuana centers. On top of that, it's not great to wish crime or badness on anyone, but as we've seen some indication of in Grand Junction when they outlawed medical marijuana centers over a year ago, it appears that the black market marijuana trade often increases due to the lack of availability of legal, legitimate centers for patients. We've locked Levi out, but that's just
nothing personal, Levi.
Oh, that's what she always says. So that's what's going on in Fort Collins. If you're up in Fort Collins, we urge you to get registered to vote, to also go find out these petitioners and get in touch with them so you can sign their petition. And Custer here is tracking them down so we can get them on iCannabis Radio over the next couple of weeks and find out some more details about where people can go and sign stuff and all that fun stuff.
So here's what's interesting to me. I mean, first of all, I didn't really know that could happen.
What do you mean that could happen?
That we could turn around and
sure, why not?
I mean, when you think about it, of course, I mean that's part of the blessing and the curse that is the way that Colorado is set up, that anyone can have a petition. But this is pretty great because I think that just like in Grand Junction, people got voters' remorse and didn't realize exactly what they were doing, and now get the opportunity to really get the education and understand what they didn't understand when they voted this past November.
Yeah, hopefully. And it's going to be interesting to see what happens, whether they are able to overturn it.
Do you want to make a prediction right here on iCannabis Radio on the cure, right here?
Yeah, and actually my prediction is I'm not sure. It's going to take a lot of work. Chris and I have talked about it before on the Edson Report and other things where it's going to, we now know. Sorry, Chris. Yeah, he's going to whack me on the head when I say this. We now know who the most likely Republican candidate for president is, and
maybe not Chris's candidate.
It's not Chris's choice.
He'll write in someone else.
Unless something absolutely nutty happens, we know it's Romney, and I'm not sure.
Those tears.
And I guess, but that was falling into it because, maybe some of the hardcore Republicans won't show up for this election. It's going to depend on what the polls really, really come out and show and whether or not he carries nationally. Because if the Republicans generally don't show, that statistically should favor some medical marijuana stuff, whether it's here, whether it's other states. I mean, and that carries through to marijuana stuff as well, no medical. So, I mean, that should help 64 as well. And Rico and anybody else who can get on the ballot as well.
November is going to be so interesting in Colorado. I mean, I don't even know what to kind of think about it. I mean, these are
it's kind of a watershed moment. Actually,
it really is.
If you think about it, all this stuff that's coming up at the same time. I mean, there's so much influx that it could be really interesting. Well, it will be really interesting.
No matter what, yeah.
I don't think we need the paper towels either, do we?
It's just exciting, and I just have to belabor the point for one more moment that Colorado has been a medical marijuana state since what year, Warren?
2000.
Right, since 2000. So for 12 years we've had legal medical cannabis. Obviously, when our current president took office and the Holder memo and all those kinds of things, and the industry really took off because people felt like maybe they wouldn't go to federal prison. This is also the state that's leading the country in the legalization movement. I mean, I'm so proud. I'm so proud of where we are in the cannabis movement in Colorado.
And this has nothing to do with that. But before we get to Levi, I have just one more thing that we have to go through news-wise that I frankly would have skipped and gone straight to Levi. But because we have Ann herself here on tonight, this is kind of breaking news, and it's coming from the New Jersey Star-Ledger. And today in New Jersey, a Montclair Medical Marijuana Center has been granted permission to immediately start growing its cannabis crop. Now, granted, this process, they're claiming, will take about 3 to 4 months. But my guess is Georgia and Levi know a hell of a lot more than that. Then the Department of Health and Senior Services in New Jersey.
Amy knows more than I do.
It depends on the week. But it's going to be Green Leaf Compassion Center, and they're going to be the first of 6 state alternative treatment centers to receive this preliminary permit. And so, after we get talking to Levi a little bit here, make sure you talk to Ann about that, because as we mentioned earlier, Ann is one of the attorneys suing the state of New Jersey, trying to push this thing forward, because as you'll hear from Ann, it's been over 18 months of nothing due to Governor Christie. So that is good news out of New Jersey, and we haven't heard good news out of New Jersey in a while.
Yeah, it's really exciting, and we look forward to talking to Ann. But now we have in studio Levi from Noto Urban Garden Supply.
Without my New Jersey hair gel.
Did you just leave it at home? Is that what happened?
Yeah, I forgot it.
Pregnant now.
You're pregnant?
Who is?
You are.
No, I don't have any babies.
I don't have any babies.
That you know of.
Oh, well, I have a couple babies. They're green, though.
I was going to say, he's got some little babies. Well, they got little roots.
So what do you got going on for us today, Levi?
I actually I was just gonna say a couple things I had going on with like the store.
Please, absolutely.
And I heard some new news that I heard about like Colorado cannabis or Colorado dispensary owners and their taxes. I was really like surprised on how much it cost and how much they cannot write off.
Right.
And
like everything?
Like
on
everything. Federal taxes, you cannot deduct normal business expenses.
Yeah,
like
one,
advertising?
One storefront, if they did like everything proper, which I believe my friend did, and they owe $72,000.
Wow.
That's a lot. Is what I'm saying.
I'm thinking that's a lot too.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they need a new CPA.
I know. It's like, who is doing their books?
Well, I mean, yeah, there was $300,000 or something like that, and like used in the store or something like that or whatever. So.
Wow.
I don't know. I just was surprised on like that you're not able to write anything off like that. That just seems crazy to me.
It's this whole thing that it's federally illegal, and so it really presents a problem when paying the IRS.
Exactly.
So you can only claim things that are not based on something that's federally illegal. So things like advertising dollars, which most business owners rely upon.
Yeah.
No good. Employees? Not that either.
Yeah,
insurance?
That's what
not that either.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was saying. Like, I mean, if you pay your employees pretty good and stuff, that's a lot of money as well.
It's kind of a double-edged sword, too. Like, on the one side, you can't make federal deductions. On the other side, the state is mandating that you take all these procedures and precautions with your business, like doing all these video camera upgrades, security upgrades, tracking systems, point of sale,
and
like
none of that is
badging employees. None of that.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you see, it's actually, when it gets down to it, it's very exciting. The concept of running a business based off of cannabis is liberating, but it is hard as hell. It is one of the hardest industries you will ever try to work in.
Right.
And only the people who are really dedicated and really stubborn really stubborn people. I think we all fill that niche. We'll make it because we want to, and we'll see it through. We'll do all the little loop-de-loop circles, and we'll still be here.
Yeah, let's keep going. For sure.
So what's going on at Nodo?
Well, tomorrow I'm gonna be going over to the Gilpin, I think it's public school or elementary. I think it's an elementary.
Yep,
on 2946
California Street.
Yeah, and they're gonna be doing 11 by 8 garden beds there. And
Wow.
So we're gonna be helping them out, and I got some people to donate like little shovels and like new stuff, and we're like gonna be giving them a bunch of seeds, and
That's
so that's
awesome.
pretty exciting for me. And then
What time is that?
I'm gonna be doing that at like just before I go to work there, so between like 8 and 10.
Nice.
And then I'll be working with them throughout the year as well. And I got some other people that want to donate some time to go over there and like teach them other things like with like just gardening or like planting, transplanting throughout the year. So,
Excellent.
yeah. And we got a pretty good food or pretty good vegetable crop that we could give, or not crop, but vegetable plants and seedlings and starts that will be probably available to sell next week. They'll be big enough and like a little bit already getting started hardening off.
Now, what have you got in the store?
Various tomatoes, pepper plants, chamomile. We have cucumbers, tomato or squash,
Pumpkins.
pumpkins.
Do you have herbs?
Not yet, but we will for sure. We have like 100 flats coming
Oh, that's
this
so
week,
awesome.
so hopefully we'll have those here by Thursday. I got everything cleared out, and it shouldn't take long for them to grow, so it's going to be up just in time for when
That's so
everyone's
exciting.
ready.
I plan on planting my entire garden from Nodo Urban Garden Supplies. Starts absolutely everything.
Me too, and I'm going to be giving like a ton of plants away to people and community as well.
And you guys are also donating some stuff for the Patients at a Time event in May, right?
Yeah.
So on May 6th, the Patients at a Time Mother's Day events, where 16 more grants will be given. Nodo Urban Garden Supply is helping. The kids are going to be planting something.
Yeah.
I don't know what.
Well, yeah, I haven't figured that out yet as well, but we will be setting it up to where they can like take it home and like be able to like
Do it in a Dixie cup kind of thing.
No, keg cups work better than
Oh,
Dixie
good point.
cups.
I love it.
But yeah, I'll probably set up a packet like where everything's like in there already, and then
Nice.
we'll just have a little production line.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Just to put this out there for you. Right. Just to put this out there for you. Typically, when elementary schools do this,
Yeah.
every kid goes home with a marigold.
Oh, okay. I don't get it.
There's nothing to get. That's just the thing. For whatever reason,
They're hardy.
I
They're
think
hard to kill.
I think that's probably it. So Gavin has brought me home marigolds year after year.
Oh, okay.
I'm not really a marigold fan.
No.
Yeah, just
They're
to put that
natural
up.
insect repellents. Did you know that? You put them around your garden, it'll prevent insect infestations.
Mm.
It's because
High
they smell.
five.
I know. I surprised you, don't I? A little bit.
I like ladybugs.
We sell those.
I actually need some. I'll need some ladybugs this year.
They're awesome.
So wonderful. Is it time for us, Master Custer? You guys have been listening to Levi from Nodo Urban Garden Supply at 1330 27th Street between Larimer and Walnut Street on 27th. I had to think about that for a second, despite the fact that I go there
You were
every
just up there.
day.
I saw you. You waved at me.
I did.
I was drinking a beer on the porch.
Every day. You got to go visit Levi. Not only does he have a lot of wonderful things for the small gardeners, but if you have a large garden or a large hobby garden or commercial garden, Nodo Urban Garden Supply is your hydro center. It's pretty amazing to have a location like this located right downtown. They're 4.5 blocks or so northeast of Coors Field. And on game day, you can actually still park in front of your store. It's amazing.
It's true.
It's partly because they have a
people
driveway.
don't want to walk 7 blocks intimidating.
It is intimidating. It is intimidating.
And some of my customers are pedicab drivers, so they've been like hanging out right in front.
Nice.
They're like waiting for the call.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, be happy to help you out if you want to come by.
So don't forget to tell people at Noda Urban Garden Supply that you heard about them on iCannabis Radio. We'll be right back.
The law offices of Edson, Maton, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
Help defend women's rights in the pursuit of equality. Join Americans all across the United States on April 28, 2012, as we come together as one to tell members of Congress in Washington, D.C. and legislatures in all 50 states enough is enough. All Americans have the right to make a decision about their own bodies, including contraception, without interference from government, business, or religious institutions. Join us at Civic Center Park, April 28 at 10 a.m. www.unitedwomen.net.
Hi, Josh Stanley here from National Geographic's American Weed. I'm here with my brothers, and we've just recently put together a foundation in Colorado to allow for cancer patients and other patients of debilitating conditions to be able to get a hold of cannabis-based oil that's just about free of charge. I've just about had it with seeing sick patients suffer needlessly just because they can't afford the proper medication. That's what the Realm of Caring is going to change. Visit therealmofcaring.com. The website will be complete and up on 4/20 of 2012. But until then, please contact any of us Stanley Brothers directly through email. You can get us at gratefuljosh@hotmail.com. Now come on, Colorado. We need to take care of each other. Join the Realm. That's realmofcaring.com. Thank you so much.
Are you a medical marijuana patient or interested in finding out how to become one? Contact Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. Conveniently located on Hamden and Tamarack in the Whole Foods parking lot behind Proof of the Pudding. Mile High Wellness offers a wide variety of edibles, hashes, and some of Colorado's top strains. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. 3525 South Tamarack, Suite 110, on the corner of Hamden and Tamarack. 720-382-8516. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern.
Let's face it, rules and regulations are complicated, especially in the field of medical marijuana. Let Medical Marijuana 101 help you get through the compliance process. We can also explain to you your employment requirements, your employees, and your business. But our work doesn't stop there. Our experience in cultivation ranges from the design of grow rooms to the diagnosis and resolution of grow problems. Visit us at www.medicalmarijuana101.com or call 303-388-7706. That's 303-388-7706.
I'm Gary Johnson, and you're listening to iCannabis Radio, and I want to say, talk it up, Colorado.
Welcome back. You're listening to Georgia and Amy, The Cure, on iCannabis Radio, winner of the Best of Denver by the Westward 2012. And we are about to call Ann Davis, an attorney out of New Jersey, who is, as far as I'm concerned, kicking the state of New Jersey's ass, as she should. And she would agree, because that's a good thing.
And that's what she does.
And that's she's an ass kicker.
Yeah, careful now.
I know, right?
Fine line.
Hello.
Hi, Ann. This is Georgia and Amy and Warren, and you are live on iCannabis Radio, The Cure.
Hi, guys. How are you?
Oh, we miss you.
Good.
I miss you guys, too. It's been a while. All kinds of things are going on across the country.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, all kinds of things are going on, but none so exciting as what you're doing in New Jersey.
Oh, it's been fun. It's been a fun ride the past couple of weeks. Did you see what happened today?
We did, and we reported on that. But, Ann, can you take us a step back first? When did this thing pass, and what has happened to New Jersey since it passed, before we get to what you've had to do to get this rolling?
Okay, so it all started January 18, 2010, was the day that our medical marijuana bill was signed in the state of New Jersey.
Wow.
And it was supposed to be effective within 6 months.
and that led us to a date of July 2010. And it was to be implemented by our Department of Health and Senior Services, who requested a legislative extension of 90 days because they couldn't get it rolling in the 6 months. So passed both houses. They were granted extension until October 1st of 2010 to get this program up and off the ground. And here we are. And it's April 2012.
Wow.
So it's been a lot of delays, and we ended up having to file litigation to get it moving forward. And part of that is we are alleging and intend to prove that there's been intentional delays by the Department of Health and Senior Services by high-level officials intentionally interfering with the program and not getting it off the ground. A lot of bases off of that, beginning with the selection of the 6 ATCs that we have. The very week that those 6 were selected, our commissioner, Dr. Primale, she resigned for personal reasons. Deputy Commissioner Susan Walsh, she resigned too for personal reasons.
Huh.
And yeah, coincidental. It's all very, very coincidental. So we allege that some of the selection process has been arbitrary and capricious. There's been a lot of media about the NIMBY concept, not in my backyard. There were over 30 applicants for these 6 spots, and some of those applicants had secured locations with leases with local approval. For some unidentified reason, those entities were passed over, and of those 6 selected, not all of them had locations secured or defined in their applications. So that goes to the our allegations of arbitrary and capricious decision-making and the selection of these 6 ATCs. And then we have our law that called upon the department. They had so much time to finish criminal backgrounds, investigations. I'm going to tell you both are 30 and 60 days. I can't remember off the top of my head at this moment. But from the time they had a completed act, they had either 30 or 60 days to complete this criminal investigation. Mm-hmm. And from the time of receiving a completed application, they had 30 or 60 days to approve or deny. Go back to March 21st of last year, they selected these 6. Mm-hmm. No criminal investigations have been completed. For today, we hear that one has been done. 2 weeks post-litigation, one of them has been completed. And that's
yet another coincidence.
What?
Yet another coincidence.
Yes. Ironically, they just completed it. So that was part of what our suit is asking for. We have a great plaintiff, Rich Caparuso, who is law enforcement. He is a retired disabled law enforcement employee, and he qualified for the medical marijuana program, but with all these delays, he couldn't utilize the program because if he did, he stood to forfeit his disability pension permanently, all of it, if he tested positive so much as once.
Wow.
So, yeah, it was a really extreme penalty for this particular plaintiff. So he had been prescribed all these pain medications, and as a result of the pain medications he was placed upon, we have medical records. He ended up in ICU with kidney failure, internal bleeding, directly related to this pain medication. So had he been able to use the medical marijuana if he wanted to, he wouldn't have been in that situation on, unfortunately, more than one occasion. So that's what the case is about. It's about Rich Caparuso and the suffering that he's endured wrongfully by the intentional acts of others who chose not to follow the law. And our position is we as citizens have to follow the law. You as government officials have to follow the law.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so that's what it's based on. And we seek some specific declaratory and injunctive relief. We want them to establish this patient registry. If you saw in our law, we have patients can register with the department. For a law that was to be effective October 1st, 2010, there is no registry. No patient can call in, can get their name on a list. not anywhere, not anyhow, no cards, no protection. October 1st, 2010 effective date. We're in April 2012. There is no reason the department shouldn't have taken all of that hard data, collect information, names, addresses, qualifying conditions, geographic locations, to help us with this program, so they can say their defense is, well, we want it to be really careful and cautious. It's medical marijuana, it's close to radioactive.
Right.
So we have to be cautious. Right. You can't explain that to me. Why wouldn't you establish the registry and gather a year and a half of data you lost?
Well, it's not even like it's difficult to set up an online form. I mean, that's something that virtually anyone could do in a matter of minutes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right? Google. You can set it up. Name, address, qualifying condition, whatever you
Well, steal ours.
What harm
We have one.
And steal ours. Yeah. You can have when you Google it. We already have pretty websites here.
Yeah. Well, Colorado can help you out. Well,
right?
So is there a physician that's involved in your lawsuit as well?
Oh, there is. It's Dr. Jeffrey Pollack. He's been a very vocal voice in the state of New Jersey from the physician perspective, and he happens to be Rich Caprusso's physician, and all this came about from us having reason to believe and some substantive information that there's been some corruption on the inside, and with that, Rich was looking for a physician and contacting the department. The department refused to let any patients know who these physicians were on the list. And that's how we kind of got to talking about his case and what these patients had to go through. Because they refused to publish this physician registry, out of 28,800 doctors in the state of New Jersey, only 114 have registered for the program because it's so restrictive. But on top of that, the department refused to tell anybody who these physicians were. Legislative mandate must have an established physician-patient relationship. But you know what? We're not going to tell you who they are. You have to figure it out on your own. So you sick people, it's like if you extrapolate the numbers, they have to call 300 doctors to find one that might or might not be in their area, to establish the relationship that's legislatively mandated.
Wow. So does a doctor have to do something specific? How does a doctor participate? How does a doctor get on this hidden list?
Now they can just contact DHSS and register with the program, but they're requiring a little additional education for these physicians. And I've had countless physicians tell me, I can prescribe morphine. I deal with dying patients every day. I'm not going to be second-guessed by the department that I have to take an extra class to tell them they're dying in 3 months or 6 months. It's the end of their life. It is on quality of life that I need to take a class to tell them they should be able to do that.
Right.
They find it very offensive. But to the extent we have some, we've got our 114 on there now, and it's allegedly a simplified process to sign up for the program. Oh, so to get back to Dr. Pollack, see, I can talk about the case all day long, Georgia.
I love it.
Dr. Pollack was a physician who was trying to contact the Department of Health and Senior Services. Email, written letter, phone calls. I had concerns as a physician. I have countless patients who want to participate in the program. Can I talk to you? Can I ask you questions? Can I offer you advice? Can I give you the physician perspective of what our concerns are? Lockout. Refused to talk to him, refused to answer anything. And I have to give you that perspective. We have in New Jersey OPRA, Open Public Records Act. It is supposed to
New Jersey.
Amy and I were like with Stedman.
We're supposed to have this transparency in government, right?
Right.
And when you request a record, you're supposed to get it in 7 days. It has been since November 23rd that we began on our search. They have not given us one shred, not one document, not one piece of paper to date, not anything on the medical marijuana program, not anything, basic information, anything, nothing, refused. And we've had to file 4 complaints with the government records.
Wow. So what happens next with your litigation?
Well, there's a lot of stages to it. We want some declaratory and injunctive relief. We want the patient registry open immediately, physician registry open immediately, criminal investigations on the ATCs completed in 30, 60 days, and the approval or denial of the ATCs all within 30, 60 days. If you deny, replace, and appoint another one. Some of that has come today. They have actually published the physician registry, and they have awarded one ATC a temporary permit, which that is just for the cultivation. But remember, we have no patient registry. So from the ATC's perspective, there's a little bit of a problem because their viewpoint is you're making us be the guinea pig on, your program, but it's on our dime. You're not opening the patient registry. You're asking us to grow for how many patients? We don't even know. Who are they? Where are they? Are they going to come to us? So it's really placing a burden on this one ATC to say, why don't you start cultivating? But we don't have the physician registry open yet. So, again, it's that whole end-around game that the department is playing. I don't even remember what your question was, Georgia. I can't stop talking about the case.
Well,
That's where you're supposed to be.
I actually have a question for you. Here in Colorado, what we do with the MMED is they assign a certain plant count per patient, in this case 6. So if they're asking this MMC, well, that's our terminology, or ATC in your terminology, to kind of take a leap of faith, how many plants are they supposed to grow? Do they have the green light to just start a garden without any patients registered? Because that sets them up for multiple, felonies and target on their back.
Correct. Exactly. And that's, part of the game we've been playing with them all along. They'll publicly come out and say, oh, here you go. Here, we gave you something. But they didn't really, and that's exactly the problem. There's no patient plant count to tie anything together.
So it's basically
it's a catch-22.
Yeah, they're like, play the game, but they don't tell you the rules of the game. So
exactly.
That's when you're like Homer, Babe Ruth style.
So it's just a world apart from Colorado. It's you guys have had such great success, and I push your model all the time. I think you're doing wonderful things out there, but it's a world of difference out here.
So you need for the state to do what they have promised they were going to do, what they were mandated to do, and just from filing your suit, they seem to have made some progress. Some
far from over, but they have, of 2 points of the relief that we were seeking, they've come forward with today.
Which is great. That's a huge step in the right direction. So we are going to want to definitely have you on to get the update about how your ass kicking of Governor Christie is going, and if we could do this, we're behind you 100%. Like in spirit, we are all taking a giant boot up his ass. But you're clearly, I know that was really good, huh? But you're clearly making progress. They clearly are fearful of your lawsuit, and I'm sorry that it took you having to get to that place, but I'm so incredibly proud that you did.
Oh, thank you. You haven't seen anything yet. Wait till it all comes out.
I'm so not surprised. Yeah, I'm so not surprised. So, Ann Davis, we are extremely happy to have had you on tonight. If people want to learn more about you, get in touch with you, what is the best way for them to do that?
I would say probably email anndavis1@comcast.net or Facebook.
Great.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, and we will talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you, guys. You keep doing what you do out there. You're an inspiration to all of us out east.
Thank you. Big kisses.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. We've been talking to Ann Davis out of New Jersey. You've been listening to iCannabis Radio, The Cure, with Amy and Georgia, and we'll be back in a moment.
Let's face it, rules and regulations are complicated, especially in the field of medical marijuana. Let Medical Marijuana 101 help you get through the compliance process. We can also explain to you your employment requirements, your employees, and your business. But our work doesn't stop there. Our experience in cultivation ranges from the design of grow rooms to the diagnosis and resolution of grow problems. Visit us at www.medicalmarijuana101.com or call 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188.
Are you a medical marijuana patient or interested in finding out how to become one? Contact Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. Conveniently located on Hamden and Tamarack in the Whole Foods parking lot behind Proof of the Pudding. Mile High Wellness offers a wide variety of edibles, hashes, and some of Colorado's top strains. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern. 3525 South Tamarack, Suite 110, on the corner of Hamden and Tamarack. 720-382-8516. Mile High Wellness, where your care is our concern.
The law offices of Edson, Maton, and Matz provide criminal defense, medical marijuana defense, and advice about setting up and running medical marijuana centers, optional premises cultivation operations, and infused product manufacturing businesses throughout Colorado. With offices in Denver and Aspen, we can offer assistance throughout the entire state of Colorado. Give us a call at 303-831-8188. That's 303-831-8188. Or visit us online at warrenedson.com.
Help defend women's rights in the pursuit of equality. Join Americans all across the United States on April 28, 2012, as we come together as one to tell members of Congress in Washington, D.C., and legislatures in all 50 states enough is enough. All Americans have the right to make a decision about their own bodies, including contraception, without interference from government, business, or religious institutions. Join us at Civic Center Park, April 28 at 10 a.m. www.unitedwomen.net.
Are you a runner? Are you a runner who supports marijuana legalization? Run on Grass is a group of athletes actively seeking to change our marijuana laws. We speak the truth about cannabis, bringing the message through our feet to new ears. Check out runongrass.com to find out more about us, our events, and how to join up or how to sponsor a runner. If you're in the Denver area, please join us for runs or start a group in your area. Running not your thing? Any sport can do it on grass. Runongrass.com.
This is Scott with Thunderdome Radio, and you've been listening to Georgia and Amy Show, only on iCannabisRadio.com. And now, back to Georgia and Amy.
Oh, I loved that. Thank you. That was so good. I miss my boy. Thanks for coming back. We are going to give a jingle to our friend Danny Danko from High Times Magazine. He's High Times Magazine's senior cultivation editor and author of the official High Times Field Guide to Marijuana Strains. I think anyone who has ever grown marijuana knows Danny and is just in awe of his work. He is just a great guy and just smart as hell. He's just smart. He's so marijuana smart.
He's a canna genius, basically.
I like it.
Walking cannacyclopedia.
A cannapedia.
Oh, there you go.
There we
Even
go.
better. Cannapedia.
Hello.
Hi, Danny. This is Georgia and Amy, and you're on iCannabis Radio.
Hey, how are you guys?
We are so good. How are you?
Great.
So we were just talking to Ann Davis, the attorney out of New Jersey, about her lawsuits in New Jersey suing the state for the lack of their beginning of the medical marijuana program in New Jersey, and they just yesterday approved their first cultivation license, I guess is our term. I don't know what their term is. So yet another state is moving in the right direction, and they'll need you.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good news about New Jersey.
Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
So you are in Denver. I'm sorry that you're not live and in person, but we'll take you any way that we can get you. You're in Denver for the High Times Medical Cannabis Cup.
Yeah, absolutely. And, for the 420 festivities on Friday as well.
It's always a good time.
Yeah.
And Danny,
it's kind of the epicenter right now of cannabis activism and enthusiasm and businesses, and it's really kind of a model of how it can be, in a regulated market.
Well, and Danny, for our listeners who maybe have been living under a rock and don't know about the Cannabis Cup here in Denver, do you mind explaining to them, what the deal is, where it is, what's going on? that kind of stuff?
Yeah. Well, this is our second year in Denver. We've had the event for coming up on 25 years in Amsterdam, and just recently decided to bring it stateside. So that's when we did San Francisco and then Denver. We did one in Detroit, one in Los Angeles, and now we're back here in Denver. And basically, it's a trade show. It's a place for people to get together in the community, medical patients, all of the different businesses, the medical marijuana centers, everybody basically getting together. To celebrate cannabis, but also to continue the fight to end prohibition entirely of marijuana. So I think that, it's a great place to get together. We've got a bunch of cool seminars during the day and a bunch of booths where people are selling their products and showcasing all the various new technology that comes with all these products. And it's just a really fun party. We've got a VIP party Saturday night with some, musical acts, Mellow Hype, which is members of Odd Future. And, we just basically part celebration and part, get together as far as, meetings of the mind and people of the industry getting together and meeting the public and showing people that this is not a harmful plant, that it's actually a very helpful an amazing plant, and I think people get to see that here in particular.
So that's April 21st and 22nd, this Saturday and Sunday, and that's the Exto
Saturday
Event Center here in Denver.
At Exto Event Center during the day, I believe from noon till about 7, and then we have the booths there. We have a medicating area for people with valid paperwork, and we have like I said, a bunch of seminars, panels, legal panels, activism panels, cultivation, every aspect. We even have a panel on concentrates, the dabs and all this stuff, basically discussing, exactly what is this and are there dangers, are there harms, is it great, is it not great? And so it's going to be really interesting. I think, people here in Colorado are really on the cutting edge of cannabis right now, and so we're basically highlighting that and showcasing that, by coming here this very sacred weekend. The 420 festivities here have been legendary. This is my first time here for 420, but I've seen the pictures at Boulder and in Denver, and it's just always been one of those marijuana meccas that you want to visit and celebrate. So pretty exciting, and that's the event Saturday and Sunday. Big party Friday night as well, which is the Incredible Party with Barrington Levy and a bunch of great artists, and we're excited. We're really happy to be here for a second year.
Well, we want to let our listeners know that High Times did add an interesting twist this year and adopt Amsterdam style, opening it up to people who have a ticket to the event who are also Colorado patients. I know today I saw a copy of the email that went out that essentially let the patients know all the centers that have entered and what strains they have entered, so patients can go around to those centers this week and actually get it themselves and sample themselves and even vote themselves this weekend, something that has never happened here before.
That's the Patients Cup, the People's Cup, where people who have the valid paperwork can go around and actually test the samples and vote on them Saturday and Sunday at the event, and we'll be giving a cup out for that award as well.
And so urge people to get their tickets early so that they can get that going and figure out how to do this.
Yeah, absolutely. If people are interested, they can go to medcancup.com, medcancup.com, and there's links there to tell you the schedule and all the different things that are going on, and you can buy tickets there as well and find out all the information on it. But if you're not in Denver for this big weekend, you're missing out on a wonderful celebration of cannabis. And we celebrate it, but we also know that there's so much more fighting that we have to do to free it. So these type of get-togethers are a wonderful place to mingle with your peers in this amazing emerging industry.
And it's an educational event too. I mean, let's be honest, it's a competition, and that's exciting and wonderful. But as you said, it's a lot more than that, and the educational components are pretty exciting. The social components are wonderful. I'm really looking forward to Barrington Levy personally.
Absolutely.
Levi too. But it's also really exciting. I mean, one of the things about being in Colorado is that the cultivation in Colorado has, as you are well aware, has really increased tremendously. People are making amazing medicine. They're growing amazing medicine, and so the competition is stiff. And there's nothing more exciting than going through this process and then ultimately winning an award.
Yeah, absolutely. And like you said too, I mean, the competition is great, and we love that aspect of it. But it's the other parts of it that resonate beyond just this one weekend, where connections are made, friendships are forged. People even end up meeting and getting married in Amsterdam at the Cup. So there's just amazing stories that happen. People meet people from their hometown or from wherever, and it's just a wonderful celebration. And I think we can't wait to get back to Denver, because the quality here honestly is absolutely some of the best in the world.
I think the people here feel the same way, because you do go to all these cups in the different cities. What's your opinion on what differentiates the Denver market from all the other cups?
I just think that of the entries, just a far higher percentage of them are like AAA, top-notch, amazing medicine, and that's. I just think it's just a higher percentage. I think people have stepped up their game here. Cali always represents, but they also have a certain amount of laurels that they sort of rest on, in a way. And out here, people seem to have a little more to prove, and it just ends up, pushing them to the limits. And Nico did an article recently called Strongest Strains on Earth, and it's like out of the 30-some strains, at least 10 of them were from this area,
wow.
Colorado. And so
what are some of the super strains
here,
that you think you have, or that you've seen?
What's that?
What are some of the super strains that you've seen?
I mean, there was the OG Ghost Train Haze was the one that tested at 25.5% THC, the flowers, which is pretty high. I mean, it's some of the highest we've heard of. And, there's always the cough and the goat and tangerine and all the strains that I kind of know from this area in particular.
Yeah.
So those are a few, but the list is endless. Like Georgia said, there's just so many legitimate facilities, creating really top level products.
Right on.
Well, it's going to be really exciting. We can't wait for the whole event, and especially for Sunday's award ceremony. That's always exciting. And tell us again what the website is so people can know how to get their tickets and that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's medcancup.com, medcancup.com. And I'm going to be trying to do a live show from the event as well on my podcast, Free Weed from Danny Danko. So we're going to try to do that. And, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it for sure, and really excited about this upcoming, not just our event, but just the 420 experience in Colorado.
It's going to be fun. Can't wait to see you, Danny.
Thank you so much for being on the show. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
And see you guys soon.
That sounds good. You've been listening to Danny Danko from High Times Magazine, who is here because we're cool.
Because this is the place to be, basically, right now.
I think it's because we're here.
Very likely.
Yeah, I think
Magnetic
so too.
Personalities.
It's something like that, for sure. For sure. We have
For sure.
Yeah, as I said that, I'm like, I am not going to live that down.
Nope.
I am not going to live that down. There's a few other little things we should talk about. We mentioned a little bit when we were talking to Levi, but about the Patients at a Time event. Warren, have you heard about this?
I think so.
Yeah, you think so? Patients at a Time is having another grants awarding party. Patients at a Time awards grants to Colorado residents to assist with the cost of medical marijuana doctor visits and state registry fees. Their next event is a Mother's Day celebration on Sunday, May 6th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at Jake's Food and Spirits, which is located at, ready for this, 3800 Walnut Street in Denver, not to be confused with any other address you've ever heard. The featured speakers include representatives from Moms for Marijuana. This is a very family-friendly event. I think it's very unique to have this be a family-friendly event. As Levi talked about, they're going to be growing some plants with keg cups. There's going to be a bounce house, and there's going to be face painting, and there's going to be all kinds of activities.
And food.
Right. Oh, of course.
Of
There's
food.
always. I feel like it almost goes without saying. Patients at a Time just knows that the reason that people are happy when they get together. There's two reasons actually. Only one of which will be happening at this event, and that's the food part. It's marijuana, you guys. That's the other thing I was thinking about. Everyone's mind just went in a different place.
Food.
Thank you. So that event is coming up. Tonight starts the Cannabis Revival Film Festival at Castleman's. That runs Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And as you guys know from listening to our show, they just have a fantastic lineup, and we're really excited about supporting that organization. What else? Any other?
Well, Friday, not only do we have the High Times party at City Hall, but Chris, why don't you step up here and tell us about whatever the hell you're doing?
Whatever the hell.
Well, there's a concert going on at Castleman's with KBPI's best band in Denver, No One Left Standing. That starts at 7 p.m. Ladies get in free until 10 p.m. And
until
tickets,
10.
Yep. And
then we have to,
and then you have to pay $4.20.
Whatever, make googly eyes at Andrew, you'll get in free.
Pay your $4.20.
Yeah.
Just pay it up.
It's for a cause.
That's Friday evening at 7 o'clock. So right after, one of the things that happens in Denver is 420 occurs, and the time 420 occurs, and people disperse. Don't just disperse. Go to Castleman's. Go and see this event. It's wonderful. And then afterwards, go
to City Hall if you're still awake.
Right, right. 5-hour energy drink.
Yeah, because then you have to start rolling for 2 days of the cup.
So much. So it's really exciting. Just the day alone, all kinds of exciting things happen. I know that my store, MMD of Colorado, is going to have all kinds of food and giveaways and things like that, non-medicated giveaways, just in case our lawyer is listening.
No, Med.
Med is listening. I'm more worried about the lawyer listening, because the meds.
And Julie's out there taking notes.
Yeah, Julie, don't worry. But it's just an exciting time. It's so. I am trying to catch up on sleep now. It doesn't really work though. I thought that if you banked it. No. I know. But it's exciting. It's really exciting. And we have an exciting week on iCannabis Radio too.
Oh yes. Big old stack of excitement coming your way. It's been a long day, guys. Come on, give me a break. It's Monday.
It's Monday.
So coming up this week, we have Sexpot Radio.
Yep.
Tomorrow, which they have a crazy awesome lineup. So please check out the schedule, which I do not have in front of me who their guests are.
I do. They're gonna have Christina from Case Ass Glass is going to be on, as well as Lisa Mamakind will be phoning in. Their topics are going to be the allure of bondage.
Wow.
I know. I don't even.
I like Chris's timely sound effect.
Was that a? I don't know what that was.
That's our crack producer.
Right. And then polyamory or whatever.
Wow.
How do you say that?
You do not know what that is. Polyamory.
Polyamory. I do know what it is.
Okay.
I just don't know how to say it.
Okay.
You do.
Oh yeah, I've been in a polyamorous relationship. Multiple.
I do not.
Is that what that means?
Well, I mean,
poly meaning more than one.
Like multiple different situations of polyamory.
Are you switching out shows on me?
No, I'm just telling you. That's how I know how to say it.
I'm so embarrassed.
They're not very fun. Somebody always gets jealous. Go ahead.
What else happens?
Let's continue.
Then Wednesday, of course, 7 p.m. is the Thunderdome.
And we're going to be wild and crazy and try to broadcast from the film festival at Castleman's.
Yes,
we'll
that's
see
a great
how that
idea.
goes. If there's no picture, you all know why.
That's really exciting, though. It's really exciting. And then Thursday at 7 p.m. is the Cannabis Health News Magazine. And then at 8 p.m., Overgrow the Radio with Stickman. They are going to be focusing on D.C. and Colorado Springs and Initiative 70. They're going to have the Weed Pimps on, Rico Calibre, Crystal Guest, and Corey Stowers from Art Under Pressure. It should be a fantastic show. This is a wonderful lineup. If you're interested in...
Well, wait, before you get to that, because this weekend we're going to once again attempt to broadcast live from the Cannabis Cup by taking over the Edson, Mayton, and Matt's booth, and through the kindness of the Exto Event Center, jumping on their Wi-Fi. So we see if we can pull that off and try to bring you some live coverage from the Cup this weekend that should include at least a 2-hour Sex Pot radio show, as I'm sure you two will have a couple drinks and try to get on the air at some point.
A couple?
I will be there too.
And Levi will be there. You think Amy and I are going to have a couple drinks and try to get on the radio?
On Sex Pot.
On Sex Pot Radio? I just butchered polyamory. I'm quite certain.
They're planning a whole show around you.
I almost want to rewind it to hear how you said it now.
I'm so sure that they're not interested in having me anywhere near their show.
Oh no.
No, they want you on the show now. Trust me.
Right.
Jenny Kush got 4 different show ideas just for pronunciation.
Just for Georgia.
Oh, so much fun. I can't say it enough that iCannabis Radio is a wonderful place to be, and we have some amazing sponsors, and we'd like to thank our sponsors from tonight. We'd like to thank Mile High Wellness, Medical Marijuana of the Rockies, Noto Urban Garden Supply, Edson Mayton, and Matt's, of which Edson is the cutest, Medical Marijuana 101, and Run on Grass. If you are interested in being a sponsor on one or all of the shows on iCannabis Radio, don't hesitate to contact us. There's a whole bunch of ways to do that. You can do that on Facebook. You can friend us at iCannabis Radio.
There's the contact us thing on the website. That's
I was getting there.
Mm-hmm.
I was getting there. You can go to iCannabisradio.com and get in touch with us on the contact page. Or you can email me at georgia@medicalmarijuana101.com. Any of these ways you can learn how you can be a part of the iCannabis Radio family. We want to give a special shout out to our friends at Mad Hatter Smoke Shop, who opened their second store today.
And it was awesome.
They
brought them cupcakes.
Yes, they were very happy.
John was very tired.
They're all kind of tired.
He was very tired.
They're all kind of tired. It's located across from Castleman's, so if you're heading down to the film festival, or any other reason you'd be going to Castleman's, the Cup.
You're going to be driving by there then?
You have to drive by there to get to the Expo Center, because guess what?
It's on Walnut Street.
It's on Walnut Street.
And then make sure you stop in at the table this weekend, because we got all sorts of fun stuff to give away for free. We'll have a free raffle, and amongst other things, I'm sure we can con those guys at Mad Hatters into donating some glass. We have some great Rockies tickets for Sunday, April 29th, 11 Road behind home plate. We have some cool new swag. I don't know where the hell R2 is now. We have some swag now, including cups and a nice vaporizer donated by Vapor Brothers. So all sorts of fun stuff.
So stop by and see us at the Cup. And anything else? Have we missed anything?
I don't actually think so. I'm sure we did, though. There's so much going on. We'll just have someone else tell you.
That's pretty
That's
cool.
right.
Or check our Facebook.
Yeah, you can tell what's going on our Facebook. Like, that's how you knew who won the Boston Marathon.
That's true, actually. I saw that. I was like, wow, she's a running dork.
That she is. On that note.
Thank you so much for listening to The Cure. I'm Georgia.
I'm Amy.
We'll see you next week.
Dorks are cool.
I'm obsessed.